Hey guys, it's Kota here once again. Who else would you expect? What I've got here right now for you to watch and me to commentate is a battle against the one and only TheAcousticKind, or Pwnobi, whatever he wants to go by. I'm calling him Pwnobi for the purposes of this battle. And it's an NU tier match, and anybody who's watched or heard of Pwnobi, you know that he is... you should know two things. The first, he is an awesome NU player, and the second, that he loves stall. So I've only played 2 NU matches before, and all I have is this one crappy little team. And he said he had 17 teams and like 2 boxes full of guys of just random guys. So that just messed with me psychologically the entire time. But you know what? He managed to rope me into it, and by that I mean he just asked me, and I immediately obliged. So let's just get right into it. I've got a sand slash and he's got a bee drill, and I've never really seen a bee drill before, but we'll get into that later. I just want to set up my rocks as quick as possible, so that's what I do. The bee drill just U-turns out, and I guess that's fine. He's got a sand slash in there, and by the way, that looks sick with that shiny color scheme. He knocks off, which I wasn't really expecting, but it's not a huge deal to knock off on Mantine. He switched out into Polytoad because Polytoad's gonna freaking wall me, and we're gonna have the the most insane stall war ever. This is pretty much what you're going to be looking at for half this match. Just that stupid Mantine and the Slowking. So I went to Shedinja because I need to get Toxic on this thing because I have nothing else I can do to it. And I didn't expect him to go right for the Toxic right away. I thought maybe he'd suspect that Mantine was a sleep talker and he wouldn't go for it. But that's not what happened. I go to Electabuzz now because that's the only thing I really have that can hurt it. With a T-Bolt, and I sub first to dodge any kind of Toxic that he wants to put on me, and he sets up a light screen instead, and I'm like, damn it, now I can't T-Bolt it. I just went for the T-Bolt anyway, maybe I'd get a crit, who knows, and he saw that coming a mile away, went into Sand Slash. So all I got to do now is Cross Chop, because I forgot what my hidden power is, and he has a light screen up anyway. And I think after Leftovers, the Life Orb did more to me than my hit did to him, so that had me kind of frustrated. He's just got all the right guys, and I'm already down my most important guy, actually, so that kind of sucks. I'm going to go to Dusclops now, just to dodge the spin, because I need to keep rocks up there, because they're going to be vital if he's got, like, an Entei or something. So I dodged the spin, and he said he wasn't expecting me to have 2 ghosts, which was kind of nice. I went for Will-O-Wisp instead of Earthquake, because... why would I Earthquake a Sand Slash? It's not going to do anything. And he saw it coming a mile away and dodges it with this Entei, and I'm kind of feeling like that's not... Well, that was a good play by him, you know. I should have predicted that he'd have a Fire type. He is an awesome player after all. So now he goes into Slowking, and I have no way to get any kind of status on this thing. Like, I have no Toxic anymore. So I have no idea what I'm going to do to this thing. I just went for S-Toss because I thought he'd switch out of the Entei for sure. And now I'm going to switch. So in comes my Mantine, and he Toxics me. Not a big deal on this guy because he's got Rest and Sleep Talk. And he's going to be able to deal some kind of damage in the meantime. But if that Slowking a slack off, then I'm just screwed. I got a crit Surf, and that really pisses me off because I wanted to go for a Signal Beam there. Because I have it, and a crit Signal Beam probably would have made this thing killable, honestly. But if he survived it, he would have just slacked off twice, and he would have been fine, so no big deal. Now I go for the Signal Beam, and that doesn't do very much at all, because it's a friggin' Slowking, and I'm a Mantine that has no special attack investment, so... I have no idea what I want to do to this thing, so I'm going to rest before the Toxic gets to be too much, in case he wants to hit me with, like, a Seed Bomb or something, and he just went for Toxic, thinking I'd switch. So... this is the beginning of the stall war, and I'm just going to speed this up a little bit. I'm just going for Sleep Talks, and he's just going for Psychics and Toxics, trying to predict me to switch, and he's just going to set up Light Screen in the meantime, so I'm just going to speed this up a little bit. Be right back. And I'm back. Did you miss me? No, you didn't. You didn't even notice I was gone. So... pretty much just what we got is more of the same. Mantine against Slowking. I'm Rest Talk, he's Slack Off with Toxic, so there's nothing that either of us can do. He gets confused, so he just switches to Meganium to take a hit, and then he's going to switch right back. And it's really funny because his Meganium gets hit there too, and that had me laughing. So he brings in the Slow King again, and it's just more of the same. So I'm trying to wait for like his light screen to wear off, and I don't know, like maybe switch to Gardevoir and get a Shadow Ball on it, and then if it decides to just kill my Gardevoir, maybe I could switch into Sandslash and Night Slash it. And I don't know what I can do. Like, I've got to kill this thing somehow. So this little stall war is almost done. I think there's another one coming up. Both of us are just trying to get a turn of advantage, and I eventually just rest because I'm getting sick of it, and then I'm going to switch out right now, or next turn, because I'm just getting a little bit bored. So I go to Sandslash, and hopefully I can take a Psychic, and luckily I do. I would have rather taken a Toxic, actually, because I'm just going to let this thing die. So there goes the Night Slash, and this has to do a fairly decent chunk, and it's not able to, so I know I have no chance with the Sandslash, and I think that his light screen is going to wear off here in a second. If it hasn't already, I wasn't keeping track, I wasn't looking. So in comes Gardevoir, and I thought he'd switch, but I was like, I kind of can't risk him staying in, so I had to go for the Shadow Ball. Luckily, I get a little critical hacks right here, and that's going to help me out major in the long run. So I'm going to take out his Sandslash because of that crit, and he's not going to be able to get rocks up, which is what he said he would have done. So I finally taken out one of his guys. Yes! And then in comes a Beedrill, and for whatever reason, I was thinking Pursuit. He's going to Pursuit. So I just stayed in and went for Shadow Ball, and luckily he went for Pursuit. I thought the Bug move was too obvious, and I knew that he was too good of a player to go for a Bug move, so I just thought he'd Pursuit, and that was pretty cool. So in comes the Meganium again, and this thing's going to absorb Shadow Balls like they're nothing, so that's what I go for. I couldn't risk switching out in case he wanted to stay in with the Beedrill, predicting me to switch, predicting him to switch, so I couldn't do that, and that's a lot of predicting. I go to Dusclops, and he synthesizes, so he's got two guys with 50% recovery moves, and they're both walls, and they're both annoying, and I have no Toxic anymore. Plus, I'm going to go for an Earthquake, predicting, I don't know, something to come in, but you know, honestly, there's nothing that he would have brought in that's better than Meganium. So I'm just going to go for a Will-O-Wisp right here just to get some kind of residual damage, because that's kind of the basis of this team. Like, I was supposed to this was supposed to be like a burn and Toxic stall and then come in with Electabuzz and Sweep. But that hasn't exactly worked out so far, because for whatever reason, I only had one Toxic guy. And I let him get taken out real easily. So then he reveals that he has Aromatherapy, so even if I had a Toxic stall team, unless I took out this Meganium first, I would have had no chance, because he could just do that and get rid of the status, and I'd be no better off than I was before. So he's got Leech Seed on me, which honestly isn't helping him out too much, because Dusclops has 0 HP pretty much. And here comes the Seed Bomb, and that's going to kind of hurt my Mantine because I switched in, like, predicting him to finally start attacking, but it doesn't really hurt. I dodge a Leech Seed there. I got so much hacks. Like, honestly, I think he misses another Leech Seed coming up. But there's just nothing I can do about it. I went for Sleep Talk, got a Surf, no big deal. Signal Beam wouldn't have done anything more because of the base power differences. And it's just more of the same before. Like, anytime Mantine's in here, all it can do is stall, and I get another Confusion, which is pretty funny. That's 3 10% chances. If I had Ice Beam on this thing and I got 3 freezes, this game's totally different. Then comes the Slow King again, and I don't exactly want to repeat what we just did, what we just sped through, so I'm going to predict him to Toxic me, and just go to Gardevoir, because the only way that I can kill this thing is if I get it Toxic, and since my Toxicer is dead, I have to get him to Toxic my Synchronizer, and that's all I can do. So in comes Gardevoir, she gets Toxic, he gets Toxic, and all is good. I'm definitely going to be able to kill this thing at some point if the match lasts that long. So I predicted him to switch, and I just went for a Stab Psychic because I guess I thought he'd switch. At some point he is going to switch, but I wasn't sure when, so I wanted to switch my Gardevoir out right away because I didn't know what he'd go into or what he'd wanted to do, and I want to keep my Gardevoir around because that's the only thing I really have that can deal any kind of damage. So I go back to my Mantine, which is asleep, and he goes into a Sharpedo, and at this point I'm like, come on, man. This team is just too good. This guy's just got such a beast of a team. Like, compared to my team, it just wrecks it. So I go for a sleep talk naturally. I got lucky with the signal beam again. I don't think I sleep talked the rest of the entire game, so I got so much luck, but that just proves that luck doesn't win matches, teams win matches, and he's just going in ruthless and hard, and I commend him for it, honestly. Like, he did exactly what I would have done if I had a team completely outmatched. I just go for another signal beam because I have nothing I can do to this thing. He leech seeds me because he's going for the win. He's going for as good of a win as he can, and that's good on him. So my Mantine can't stick around anymore because I don't have lefties, so I'm just going to swap out into Dusclops. I don't care what he wants to do to Dusclops because it's going to be able to take it and hit it with a pain split at the last second if I have to. So here I am. I kind of want a Will-O-Wisp, but I don't want that stupid Entei to come back in, so I just go for an S-Toss. And I'm pretty sure that this part's pretty stally too, but I'm not too sure. We'll check it out together. Lefties gain, you know, that whole deal. He's me with Leech Seed because I dodged it the first time, that's right. And then I miss a Will-O-Wisp, so it's almost like that never happened. Man, I should speed this up because this is wearing me down. Okay, Seed Bomb, and I think I'm going to go for a Pain Split at some point. Yes, I get the Will-O-Wisp off because I want to make him Aromatherapy because I want to get into Electabuzz. Because I need to get into Electabuzz, and I need to set up a sub, and I need to do something if I'm going to have any kind of chance at winning this game. Although, that is looking pretty slim. So I want to go for a Pain Split, but I don't. And in comes his Entei again. And it takes another 4th damage from Stealth Rock, so thank God I kept those things up. Unfortunately for me, I also switched out predicting him to Aromatherapy, but I guess he might have predicted that, so that was a really, really good play by him. And I make a boneheaded play here, and I went for Cross Chop when I absolutely 100% should have T-bolted. And I'm not sure why I clicked Cross Chop, I just thought... I don't know what I was thinking. I just clicked Cross Chop, and I was like, wow, I'm retarded. So, I should have T-bolted there 100%, I probably would have killed it. So... in comes my Gardevoir again, trying to revenge kill, and I just went for Shadow Ball in case the Slowking wanted to come back in, predicting a Psychic. But he's too smart for that, and he just goes to Meganium. And Gardevoir doesn't pack Signal Beam anyway, so I wouldn't have been able to predict that, or do anything about it. So, I'm just going to stay in and hope. I gotta hope for a crit right here, crit Shadow Ball, and I don't get it. He's going to Synthesis up, and he's going to be good to go. I'm going to go for another crit Shadow Ball right here because I think a crit would kill it, honestly, but Toxic's wearing me down and he's getting health back from lefties and Synthesis, and the burn isn't hurting it very much at all. So here we go, I need a crit, I need a crit, I need a crit, and I don't get a crit. Oh well, you can't rely on hacks to win games. So, there's the Synthesis again, you know, he's just waiting for me to kill myself with Toxic, but... I want to try and get one more use out of this Gardevoir, like maybe I can come in and finally KO that Slowking with a Shadow Ball in a second if I somehow manage to get it down there with Toxic. He predicted me to stay in, I guess, and just went for the Synthesis, but, you know, at this point, it's pretty much over. He's almost got me completely checkmated. I'm just going for Signal Beam crits because that's all I can really do. If he Leech Seeds me, it's flat out game over at this point, and he did. So, I gotta go for a crit Signal Beam a few times. He Aromatherapy's the burn off finally, and we're talking on IM the entire time, or kind of. And I told him like at some point coming up, I'm just gonna, okay, I want you to bring in Entei and hit me with HP Electric because I thought he was bluffing. He told me he had it. And I was like, I'll go for Sleep Talk, and you bring in that Entei. And I went for Sleep Talk, but he didn't bring an Entei. I guess he didn't get that in time or something, but... You know what, whatever. He's pretty much won. I could have rested there, but honestly, that would have just dragged things out longer, and it was getting late. It was getting pretty late at this point. So, I just let my Mantine die, and that's fine. Like, I'm just getting pretty sick of things. So I go to Gardevoir, and I'm going to go for a Psychic, and hope for a crit. And this is my last chance to use this thing, and no Psychic crit. He just uses Synthesis because he knows I'm going to rate myself with Toxic, and there goes my Gardevoir. And my Electabuzz is dead, so I guess that thought process was flawed. I'm not sure why I mentioned that earlier, but I think all I've got left is Dusclops, and I'm just gonna. He leech sees me. He's going ruthless. I'll give him that. He's definitely merciless, which that's the way you got to play. So at this point, I totally predicted him to predict a pain split, so I went for an earthquake, and I nail his Entei with an earthquake, and that was awesome. That was totally cool, and it totally didn't matter. So that's just an inside joke between us. So I finally managed to KO something else. I think I took out his Sandslash and his Entei, so damn, that was pretty bad. That was a great match by him, for sure. I got my ass handed to me on a silver platter, and I guess not even a big deal. He's like the NU master, as I like to say. I've said it twice, so I guess I like to say it. And, like, honestly, my Shedinja dying on the first few turns didn't even matter, because he had, like, a pursuing Beedrill. His Sandslash probably had Night Slash. He had an Entei. He had an Aromatherapy Meganium, so any Toxic that I did get didn't matter. He had a Slowking with Toxic, and he had a Sharpedo with Crunch, so I would have walled 0 of his Pokemon with Shedinja, and I was hoping that maybe I could, you know, like, wall half his team with it, and that didn't work out that way, quite obviously. So, definitely this has taught me I need to branch out, honestly. I'm starting to really dislike OU, but I do have a few exciting matches from it, so I'm going to get those up, but in the meantime, I'm going to be trying to get some other tier action for you guys up. Anyways, that was a ton of fun. I'd like to thank Pwnobi for everything he's done for me. I'll keep that a secret for now, I guess. I don't know. But other than that, I got nothing really to say, so thanks a lot for watching, guys, and I'll see you later.